If you clicked on this video, you want an aesthetic physique. So what does that mean? It means a good V-taper. It means a good shoulder to waist ratio. And the first thing you can do about that is by building your deltoid mass and adding on to your bone structure, so broadening your shoulders. But there's also one thing you can do to improve your midsection, to improve your core, that almost nobody talks about. And it can actually shrink your waist, increasing your shoulder to width ratio by a lot. The first one is obliques. And some people like to train these, but they're actually counterproductive when it comes to building an aesthetic V-taper. What do they do? They add mass to your waist by increasing the sides. There are two types. You have your internal obliques as well as your external obliques. They're involved in stuff like rotation, bending, all of that. And so some core exercises that you are probably doing to build these without realizing would even include the side plank. When you're hitting a side plank, you're building your obliques, and therefore, by this picture, you're decreasing your shoulder to width ratio. Same thing with Russian twists. I myself did these during this winter while I was training hard for about 4, 5, 6 months. And I was hitting Russian twists, rotational stuff, side planks, all of that, along with some other stuff. But my goal as a baseball player was to build rotational power. But I didn't actually know what this was doing to my physique. And now that I know that it's decreasing my shoulder to width ratio, even as a baseball player, where rotation is key, I've decided to avoid training obliques. There are some other exercises that you probably do, that I do, such as squats, heavy deadlifts, even hang cleans, like basically big compound movements that you really can't avoid. This is fine, but you don't want to be training your obliques, and you want to avoid it whenever possible. Before I get to this hidden muscle, I'm going to cover the basic abdominals. And I'm going to cover some stuff that will probably interest you. So everybody has a certain set of abs. It's predetermined by genetics. It's just their visibility and their size is determined by training as well as body fat percentage. What's interesting is 60% of people have the common generic six-pack, whether visible or invisible, but 20% of people have an 8-pack, 15% of people have a 4-pack, and actually about 2% of people of the population has a 2-pack. And no, that doesn't add up to 100, but it's pulled from multiple studies and it's kind of rounded, so it's pretty accurate. Now you have your upper core as well as your lower core. So in order to train your upper core, you're going to want to bring kind of your chest to your core. So this is stuff like crunches and sit-ups. Whereas your lower core, which is harder to train and harder to see results in, you train it by bringing your legs up to your core. So stuff like pilates exercises, like flutters, scissor kicks, bicycles, as well as those hanging leg raises. And that is what is going to build your core. Now the hidden muscle, the secret muscle that few people talk about, that we all have, is the transversus abdominis. I'm just going to call it the TA for now because it's too long to repeat without me messing it up. Getting bit up over here. But what does it actually do? Well, it's a muscular core set that keeps all of your organs in place and allows them from coming out. So by building this muscle, by building the strength of this muscle, your waist is going to actually look smaller. You're going to look less bloated just naturally. And what this is going to do is it's going to compress your waist and build that aesthetic V-taper. You're going to be able to build it by stuff like those pilot exercises, planks, but also a unique exercise called the stomach vacuum hold. What this is you inhale as much as you can, you create a vacuum, like you're sucking in as much as possible, and then you take shallow breaths and you hold it for as long as you can, 20 to 30 seconds. And maybe you can find better guides on this online, but I'm just pointing you to the right direction. that's everything that I'm going to cover today. Avoid obliques as much as possible. Hit upper and lower abs, and train your TA to build a nice muscular core set, or else you end up like this guy, big and bulky. That's everything. See you in the next one.